There are loads of fast cars out there, a myriad of SUVs, saloons, sports cars, GTs, supercars, you name it, and they're each perfect for their intended audience. But when it came to the likes of Maseratis, I was always left a little bit blank. Why should you go for a Mazda over, say, a Ferrari or a Lambo?
The GranTurismo may be a little on the older side now. It was introduced in 2007 after all, but it manages to look fresh. You can't not think that it's a stunning car to look at. Its lines just work. Now, its fresh look may be because you don't see them all that often, but still, it's a thing of beauty. You'll also notice that the trident is a theme that recurs around the car, is dotted all over the place, and even features in the wheels.
The interior is a pretty decent place to be. Yeah, it's a bit dated, and that might be being a bit kind, but I think it will overall age quite well, providing you a timeless bubble to enjoy your journeys in, and enjoy your journeys you will, especially in this one, because the MC Stradale isn't a softly GT. Oh no, this is one of the mad ones. It's packing a 4.7 litre V8 with 454 brake horsepower and 384 pound-foot. 0 to 62 takes 4.5 seconds, and its top speed is just shy of 190 miles an hour. But it's not just big power that delivers those numbers. There's also lots of aero trickery going on, so the side skirts, the spoiler at the back, the splitter at the front, and its carbon fibre bonnet. There's 3 vents in there. One feeds cold air into the engine, and the other 2 relieve pressure and get rid of excess heat. And that has the lovely side effect of not only reducing drag, but also the way it's sculpted means it adds downforce for when you're really tonking it. The MC Stradale is 110 kilos lighter than the standard GranTurismo as well. It's all very race inspired, especially the exhausts at the back. They remind me a lot of the ones you find on the Maserati's Trofeo race cars. In theory then, this is kind of like Maserati's take on a GT3, but not quite. Let me explain. The original MC Stradale had no rear seats. It was more pared back, more race bred, if you will, but now they've popped those back in, and it's really quite a comfortable car. When it's in its normal auto mode, you can just cruise up and down the motorway. The V8 isn't too intrusive, but if you want to give it a tickle, it'll get very noisy. Then there's sport mode, which is sporty, but race is where it's at, because everything just gets better. The steering gets heavier and the exhaust is just out of this world. We're in sport now, but if I switch it to race, drops a cog and you get a little bit more noise. Oh, it sounds proper. This car does have an Achilles heel in the form of its 6-speed automatic gearbox. It's a robotised manual. What that means is there's a normal gearbox in there and a robot is doing the bit that you would be doing. That's very layman, but that's how I get my head around it. So if you flip a paddle, or if the car decides to change up a gear while you're driving along, the whole thing lurches forward. It's not pleasant at all. It does feel its age. Remember, this is technically a 7-year-old car. Ferrari's dual clutch gearbox, Porsche's dual clutch gearbox, Audi's, BMW's, they all show just how dated this really is. However, there is a workaround for it. If you want to change up, do it on the paddles. So when you do flip up, flip and then just lift off the throttle and then get back on it as you would a normal gearbox, and then you'll be okay. But still, in a £110,000 car, that's quite a concession to have to make. The acceleration you get, admittedly in the lower modes, is quite muted, but in race it is savage. It is truly savage. It just fires you off into the distance. Or if you have a day like today, when it's a bit greasy and a bit slippery, it will want its bottom to go exploring elsewhere. It's something you have to be very smooth with, as with any car like this. Big power up front, wheels driven at the back. So yeah, if the weather's a bit adverse, maybe keep it out of race, no matter how good the noise sounds. Negatives aside, it's a really, really lovely car. The noise just, oh, it's beautiful. It's the kind of noise that you end up thinking about for days and days after, just how rich and how smooth it is. It'll really, really leave its mark on you. And the fact you can drive it, admittedly in auto mode, you can drive it and you won't be uncomfortable. The suspension won't jar you. It's a proper GT. All that said, I want to know who would buy one now. Look at the alternatives: Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, Aston Martin, McLaren, even Audi, Mercedes, BMW and Jag to an extent. They're all very, very good at what they do, so Maserati has to offer something different. It has to offer something special, and I really don't think that's a problem.
2014 saw Maserati Centenary. Its past has seen racing cars take world championships in the hands of legends, a wonderful collaboration with Citroën in the form of the SM, and some genuinely beautiful cars. The 3200 GT, the Birdcage, the MC12 and the Bora, to name a few.
The company was founded in 1914 in Bologna, Italy, by the Maserati brothers, and they made racing cars, very, very good ones as it happens. They won championships and things like the Targa Florio, and all the time the Maserati Trident logo stood proud on their cars. The logo got its inspiration from the Fountain of Neptune in the Piazza Maggiore in Bologna. Not only is it a symbol of strength and all that malarkey, but it's also a really nice nod to the company's heritage. In the late 30s, the Maserati boys sold up to the Orsis, and the company moved from its original home in Bologna to Modena, where it still lives today.
Maserati has been owned by a handful of people: the Orsis, Citroën, De Tomaso, Fiat and Ferrari. Now it appears to be in rude health. The lineup is strong: the Quattroporte, the Ghibli, GranTurismo, Gran Cabrio are all holding the fort for now, but soon there'll be an SUV and the Alfieri, named after one of the founding brothers, a sports car with a 911 F-Type and Merc AMG GT in its sights.
So that's what a Maserati is today. It's luxurious, it's powerful, it's elegant, it's really quite quick, and it makes a hell of a noise, and it's pretty damn good fun to drive. So why should you go for this over all the others? Well, that's easy, because it isn't a Ferrari, an Aston, a McLaren, a Porsche, a Lamborghini or any of the others. Maseratis are undeniably more rare than the rest of the pack, and that means that the people that do choose them, they want to stand out but not be obnoxious about it. They want the power, the luxury, the elegance, the speed and the style, but they don't want to look like the rest of the Italian supercar owning masses. They want something they can call their own, and you can't blame them for that, especially when it's one of these.